Good morning, students. This is class 11, subject chemistry, chapter 2, structure of atom, lecture number 11. Topics of today's lecture are quantum numbers and homework solution of lecture number 10. So we will begin with quantum number. Now electrons are present in atom, and if we want to find out exact location of electron in an atom, then we need quantum numbers. So there are total 4 quantum numbers, and with the help of these quantum number, we can easily find out the total energy and exact location of electron in an atom. So here we will define quantum numbers, a set of 4 quantum numbers with the help of which we can get complete information about all the electrons in an atom. Now what are those information? Informations like location, energy, the type of orbitals occupied, and the shape and orientation of that orbital. We will understand the concept quantum number with the help of one example. Like for example, if we want to find out exact location of a person, then first we will find out country of that person. After that we will look at state, then city, and after that house number. In this way we can reach to that person. In the same way, if we want to find out exact location of electron in an atom, then first we will find out shell, that in which shell electron is present in the atom. After that, in shell subshells are present. Okay. So after that we will find out the subshell. In subshells orbitals are present. Okay. And in orbitals electrons are present. So last quantum number, it gives us information about the spin moment. Okay. So these are the 4 steps by which you can find out the exact location of electron in an atom. So now these are the 4 quantum numbers. First is principal quantum number. Second one is azimuthal or angular quantum number. Third one is magnetic quantum number. And fourth one is spin quantum number. So we will study principal quantum number first. Now principal quantum number gives us information about total number of shells which are present in an atom. Now here n represent the number of shell. Principal quantum number is represented by small n. So here if value of n is 1, then it is designated by capital K. If value of n is 2, then it is designated by capital L. In the same way, n is equal to 3, capital M, and n is equal to 4 is capital N, and so on. Okay. Now principal quantum number, it gives us information like it gives the average distance of the electron from the nucleus, and it determines the size of the electron cloud. Here if value of n is 4, that means the electron cloud is large. Okay, and the distance of the electron from the nucleus will be more. But if the value of n is 1, then distance of the electron from the nucleus is less. Okay, and electron cloud will be less. So it depends on the value of n. If value of n is more, then electron cloud will be large and distance of the electron from the nucleus will be more. Second is the maximum number of electrons present in any principal shell is given by the formula 2n square. Here n is the number of principal shell. Here value of n can be 1, 2, 3 and so on. So by the simple formula 2n square, we can find out the maximum number of electrons which can be present in a shell. Now second quantum number is azimuthal or angular quantum number. It is represented by small l, and it gives us information about number of subshells which are present in shell. In shell, subshells are present. Okay. So now within the same principal shell, number of subshells or sublevels of energy are present. Now it was suggested that electron present in any main shell of a multi-electron atom do not have the same energy because they move along different paths and hence have different angular momentum. So from this diagram we can see that when value of principal quantum number, that means n is equal to 1, then only one subshell is present, and name of the subshell is S. So in first shell, one subshell is present which is named as S. In second shell, two subshells are present. One is S, second one is P. So in second shell, two subshells are present. In the same way, in third shell, three subshells are present, S, P, D. In fourth shell, four subshells are present, S, P, D, F. So from this diagram, we can see that number of subshells are equal to principal quantum number. Now, if we have to find out value of small l, that is azimuthal quantum number, then we can use this formula. Formula is L is equal to 0 to n minus 1. Now, value of small n cannot be 0. Okay, value of principal quantum number starts from 1. So, when we put value of n 1, then it will be 0 to 0. That means value of L will be 0. Okay, for the second shell, that means in first shell only one subshell is present. Now for the second shell L, value of n is equal to 2. So as you can see in this diagram, when value of n is equal to 2, then two subshells are present. So here we will put the value of n in the formula. Okay, so 2 minus 1, it will be 1. So that means 0 to 1. So value of n can be 0 to 1. So it is 0 and 1. That means two subshells are present in second shell. In the same way, for the third shell, capital M, value principal quantum number, that means third shell, n is equal to 3. So value of L can have 3 values. Okay, because I have already told you that number of subshells are equal to number of shells. So 0 to n minus 1, 3 minus 1 is equal to 2. So 0 to 2. 0 to 2 is 0, 1, 2. That means these three subshells are present in third shell. Okay. In third shell, three subshells are present, 0, 1, 2. In fourth shell, capital N, value principal quantum number is 4. So small l can have 4 values. Okay. 0 to n minus 1. So here n is 4. So 4 minus 1 is equal to 3. That means 0 to 3. So value of L is equal to 0, 1, 2, 3. That means 4 subshells are present in fourth shell. Okay. Now look at the diagram. In fourth shell, 4 subshells are present. S, P, D and F. Now, if value of L is equal to 0, then it is designated as small s. If value of L is equal to 1, then it is designated as P. If it is 2, then D, 3 with small f, 4 with small g. Number of subshells present in any principal shell is equal to the principal quantum number. Now, next quantum number is magnetic quantum number. So magnetic quantum number is represented by small m or ml. Okay, and magnetic quantum number gives us information about number of orbitals which are present in subshell. Remember, in shell, subshells are present. In subshells, orbitals are present. Okay, and magnetic quantum number gives us information about orbitals. Now, what is orbital? Orbital is three-dimensional space around nucleus where probability to find an electron is maximum. Formula to determine value of small m, that means magnetic quantum number, is minus L to plus L. So, if value of small l is equal to 0, that means S subshell, then possible value of m can be plus 0 to minus 0. So that means m can have only one value, that is 0. Okay. So it means that S subshell has only one orientation in space in which electron can be found. So we can say that S subshell has only one orbital and this orbital is called S orbital. If value of L is equal to 1, that means P subshell. Then possible value of small m is plus 1 to minus 1, right? So we can write this minus 1, 0, plus 1. Okay, that means m has 3 values. Okay, so 3 orbitals can be possible. This means that p subshell has 3 orientation in space. In other words, p subshell has 3 orbitals and they are referred as px, py, pz, and they are oriented along x-axis, y-axis and z-axis. If value of L is equal to 2, that means it is D subshell. Okay. So possible value of M can be minus 2 to plus 2. That is minus 2, minus 1, 0, plus 1 and plus 2. So it means that D subshell has 5 different orientation in space. That means 5 orbitals. And these 5 orbitals are dxy, dyz, dzx, dx square y square, dz square. You should know these orbitals which are present in D subshell. Now, when value of L is equal to 3, that means F subshell. So, possible value of M can be minus L to plus L. That means minus 3 to plus 3. So, it is minus 3, minus 2, minus 1, 0, plus 1, plus 2 and plus 3. So it means that there are 7 different orientation in space and there are 7 orbitals which are present in F subshell. Okay. So now this is a table in which value of M is 0, plus 1 and minus 1. That means when value of L is equal to 1, then these are the possible value of small m. Okay. So when m is equal to 0, it is represented by pz. When m is equal to plus 1, it is represented by px. And when value of m is equal to minus 1, it is represented by py. In the same way, in D subshell, the possible value of m can be 0, plus 1, minus 1, plus 2 and minus 2. So when m is equal to 0, that is for dz square. Okay. When m is equal to plus 1, that is dxz. When m is equal to minus 1, it is dyz. When m is equal to plus 2, it is dx square y square. And when m is equal to minus 2, that is dxy. So now we know that in S subshell only one orbital can be possible. So this is the orbital which is present in S subshell and it is known as S orbital. And in P subshell, total number of orbitals are 3. Okay, so this is Px, this is Py and this is Pz. In D subshell, 5 orbitals can be possible. Okay, this is dxy, this is dyz, this is dzx and this is dx square to y square and this is dz square. So 5 orbitals are possible in D subshell. Okay, and these are known as d orbitals. In F subshell, total number of orbitals are 7. Okay, now remember, all these orbitals in F subshell, there are total possible orbitals are 7. So all these 7 orbitals have same energy. Okay, when orbitals have same energy, then we say that they are degenerated orbitals. Okay, in the same way, in this there are 5 orbitals and all the 5 orbitals have same energy, so they are degenerated. Okay, degenerated means which has same energy. In the same way, these 3 orbitals of p subshell have same energy. Okay, now in S subshell, 1 orbital can be possible. In P subshell, 3 orbitals. In D subshell, 5 orbitals can be possible. And in F subshell, 7 orbitals can be possible. You should know this table. Now next quantum number is spin quantum number. Okay. Now we know that electron revolves around nucleus. Okay. But there are 2 types of motions of electron. Okay. One is orbital motion and second one is spin motion. Now what is orbital motion and what is spin motion? So here we will take one example. Like Earth revolves around Sun. Okay. So it is known as orbital motion. In the same way, electron revolves around nucleus. So this motion is known as orbital motion. Now Earth spin about its own axis. Okay, that is known as spin motion. In the same way, electron also spin about its own axis, that is spin motion. Okay. Now this number gives the information about direction of spinning of the electron which is present in orbital. It is represented by small s or ms. Now value of spin quantum number can be plus half or minus half. Now this quantum number helps to explain the magnetic properties of the substance because each electron behaves like a micromagnet with definite magnetic moment. Okay, and if an orbital contains two electrons, then two magnetic moment oppose and they cancel out each other. Okay, so that's all for today, students. Now your homework for today is you have to do NCERT question number 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29 and 30. So note down these questions. Now we will discuss homework which was given in lecture number 10. So question number 13 is, what is the wavelength of light emitted when the electron in a hydrogen atom undergoes transition from an energy level with n is equal to 4 to an energy level with n is equal to 2? So here we will use the formula of energy. Okay, delta E is equal to 2.18 into 10 to the power minus 18 into 1 by Ni square minus 1 by Nf square. Okay, this is initial shell and this is final shell. So here value of Ni is equal to 4 and value of Nf is equal to 2 because transition, here you can see that transition is from an energy level with n is equal to 4 to n is equal to 2. So here you will put the value of Ni and Nf, and after that we will find out value of wavelength because E is equal to hc by lambda. So here we want to find out value of lambda, so we can write the formula like in this way. Okay, and here we will put all the values. Okay, this is delta E. Okay, this is also delta E. Now question number 14, how much energy is required to ionize a hydrogen atom if the electron occupies n is equal to 5 orbit? Compare your answer with the ionization enthalpy of hydrogen atom. Energy required to remove the energy required to remove the electron from n is equal to 1 orbit. So here formula to find out energy of any orbit is equal to En is equal to minus 2.18 into 10 to the power minus 18 into z square divided by n square. Now here we want to eject one electron, okay, because here there is ionization of hydrogen atom. So here we are removing electron from n is equal to 5. So electron will go from 5th orbit to infinity. So here value of n1 is equal to 5 and value of n2 is equal to infinity. So in this formula you will put the value delta E is equal to E infinity minus E5, and you know what is formula of energy. Okay, formula of energy is this. Okay, so put the values. When you will put the value, here value of n is infinity and here value of n is 5. When you will solve this, it will comes equal to 0.0872 into 10 to the power minus 18. When you will shift decimal point, it will become 8.72 into 10 to the power minus 20 joule. Okay. Now, in second part of the question, compare your answer with the ionization enthalpy of hydrogen atom. Okay. So, when we remove one electron from hydrogen atom from first orbit, okay, so it will go at infinite distance. So, here we will write delta E dash is equal to E infinity minus E1. Okay, so here value of n is infinity and here value of n is 1. So solve this, it will comes equal to 2.18 into 10 to the power minus 18. So now we have to compare these two values. Okay, so less energy is required to ionize an electron in the 5th orbital. if we compare to that in the ground state. Now question number 15. What is the maximum number of Amigen lines when the excited electron of an hydrogen atom in n is equal to 6 drops to the ground state? So for this we will use the formula n into n minus 1 divided by 2. Here value of n is equal to 6. So when you will solve this, it will comes equal to 15. That means 15 lines will be obtained in the Amigen spectrum. Question number 33. What transition in the hydrogen spectrum would have the same wavelength as the Balmer transition n is equal to 4 to n is equal to 2 of helium positive spectrum? So here value of n1 is equal to 2 and value of n2 is equal to 4. So here we will find out wave number, okay, and wave number is equal to 1 by lambda. So here we can find out wavelength when transition is from n is equal to 4 to n is equal to 2 of helium positive spectrum. Here as it is a hydrogen like particle, so here we will write z square, okay, and value of z is 2. Now put all the values and you will find out wave number is equal to 1 by lambda is equal to 4r into 4 minus 1 divided by 16. So that means here lambda is equal to 4 by 3r. Now that is for helium positive, that means hydrogen like species. Now we will, according to the question, the desired transition for hydrogen will be the same wavelength as that of the helium positive. So here value of z will be 1, okay. So now as the wavelength are same, so we will put 3r by 4 equal to this, okay. So here you can cancel out r, and when you will solve this, it comes equal to 1 by n1 square minus 1 by n2 square. It is equal to 3 by 4. Now we have to put values of n1 and n2 in such a way that it becomes equal to 3 by 4. Okay, so here we will use hit and trial method. Put the value of n1 and n2 in such a way that it becomes equal to 3 by 4. Okay. So here value of n1 it will comes equal to 1 and value of n2 it will comes equal to 2. That means transition for n2 is equal to 2 to n is equal to 1 in hydrogen spectrum would have the same wavelength as Balmer transition n is equal to 4 to n is equal to 2 of helium positive spectrum. Now question number 34, calculate the energy required for the process helium positive lose one electron and it converts into helium-2 positive plus 1 electron. Now ionization energy for the hydrogen atom in the ground state is 2.18 into 10 to the power minus 18 joule per atom. So here formula is En is equal to minus 2.18 into 10 to the power minus 18 into Z square divided by N square joule. Okay, so for hydrogen like species we will use this formula, and for the ground state of hydrogen atom, okay, here we will find out the energy difference. Okay, so when we remove one electron, then it will go to infinity. So here energy at infinite distance, that means at infinite orbit minus energy of the first orbit. So here E infinity is equal to 0 minus, here you will put all the values and delta E will comes equal to 2.18 into 10 to the. Now this energy difference is for hydrogen atom and this is for helium. Okay, for helium the value of Z will be 2 and you will solve it, and delta E is equal to 8.72 into 10 to the power minus 18 joule. Question number 61. If the position of the electron is measured with an accuracy of plus 0.002 nanometer, calculate the uncertainty in the momentum of the electron. Suppose the momentum of the electron is h upon 4 pi m into 0.05 nanometer. Is there any problem in defining this value? So here formula of Heisenberg uncertainty principle is delta x into delta p is equal to h upon 4 pi. Okay, we want to find out uncertainty in momentum. Okay, so you can write it delta p is equal to 1 by delta x into h upon 4 pi. Now put all the values. Okay, here delta x is 0.002 nanometer, so nanometer will convert into meter. Okay, put all the values and it will comes equal to 2.637 into 10 to the power minus 23 kilogram meter per second. Okay, Now, uncertainty in the momentum of the electron is this. Now, the momentum of electron is given in the question, that is h upon 4 pi m into 0.05. When you will put values of h upon 4 pi m and when you will solve it, it will comes equal to 1.055 into 10 to the power minus 24 kilogram meter per second. So here magnitude of the actual momentum is smaller than the uncertainty. Okay, that means value of uncertainty here is more. So the value cannot be defined. Okay, that's all for today, students. If you have any doubt or queries, you can ask me in comment box. Thank you and have a nice day.